budgeters, my name is Brandy and you're watching From Debt to Dreams. On this channel, we're paying off over $400. I wish. We're paying off over $400,000 in debt, but don't you fret, more than half of that is our mortgage. All right, my friends. So on this video, we go over our expenses for the week. I try to film every single morning. I do check my bank account every single morning. I check in on my cash envelopes, if I've used any cash envelopes for spending, that kind of stuff. I write it down every single day. I categorize each expense and then I highlight them so that at the end of the month, I can go and look and see what our expense, like where we spent our money in what categories. So today is Monday, May 5th. We had a wonderful weekend of us not doing anything. It was great. My work week last week was pretty slow. And so since the work week was slow, I was able to get a lot of like chores and laundry done in between sending emails and that kind of stuff. That is one of the beautiful things about working from home. So let's look and see what happened in our checking account over the weekend, which was not a lot. Excuse me, I'm like, my sinuses are freaking out this morning. So, all right. So what happened here is I added an earned income of $300. This is from my little side hustle that I have. And then two of my utilities came out, our gas bill and our water bill. So let's highlight those real quick. Okay. Let's pick these bad boys up. I don't know why I've got all of them out. I don't need all of them. And then we'll move over to our cash expense tracker. So, last week when I was doing my expense tracking on Friday, I realized that when payday happened, I didn't write down the stuff I always write down. So I wrote those down really quickly. So I made sure that I had those done, and I'm going to highlight those real quick. So last payday, Jason got his $20. I don't ask for him to give me an account, an expense or whatever. I just give him $20, say that he spent it, and then he doesn't have to worry about it, and I don't have to worry about it. Right here's our sinking funds. This was, includes anything, all of the sinking funds from our Christmas sinking fund, which is the 52 envelope challenge that I'm doing. And then all the other little sinking funds I have ended up being $169. And then we pulled $140 out for our debt binder, which was the video that you saw on Tuesday. And then this weekend we did some grocery shopping. So we did $81 at Aldi, $133 at Walmart, and then we got a new propane tank for our grill. And I'm just putting that under groceries because, I mean, when you are grilling, we're grilling food to eat, so it's groceries. So there's that. So here is our leftover money. We actually had $50 more, but my husband, I gave it to Jason so that he could go get the car inspected. The Rogue needs to be inspected. It is time for the Rogue to get new registration. So there's $50, and then I just, we had the cash, so it was either the cash was going into the bank and then we'd spend it, or he was just going to use it for that. So hopefully he'll get that done today. We tried to get that done on Saturday, but all of the places that do inspections were like, we don't do inspections on the weekends. And I was like, that's the silliest thing I've ever heard, but whatever. So we have all these ones. I'm so excited for the $1 savings book because we have not been able to put any ones in here in a while. I have 9 ones here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So let's write that down and highlight that. And you know what that means? That means that we have only 9 more dollars because I only needed 18 left before I finished this binder. So hopefully within the next 2 weeks, we can get that, get this filled up, and then put it in the savings account. All right, so I'm gonna put these dollars in here now, and I'll probably speed you up because I don't know. Actually, while I do this, why don't I save this really quick? I am going to do a video of me unstuffing this when it is fully stuffed. Even though I know exactly how much money is going to be in here, it's not a mystery. But it will be fun to kind of unstuff it and talk to y'all in a video. So if you have any questions, any like kind of like ask me anything kind of questions, let me know and I will start kind of compiling those, and then those can be questions that I answer while unstuffing this, so that you're literally just not watching me stuff or unstuff this whole thing, because it can get kind of boring, I think, probably. I don't know. I personally like unstuffing videos. Those ones are really fun. Unstuffing and cash condensing videos, oh, they're the best. All right, so look, we only need 6, 7, 8, 9, we only need $9 left. And then this bad boy that we have been working on since before I started my channel, which I started my channel in October of 2024. Oh man, this is exciting. And then we have a plan. I have a plan for how we'll be saving our ones and stuff after this is all filled up. So awesome. Well, thanks so much for being here today, and I will see you again tomorrow. Bye. Happy Tuesday, fellow budgeters. All right, here's what happened. I always get so nervous the closer we get to payday. Payday is Friday. But here we are, and things are moving quite along. All right, so my husband filled up his car with some gas. So there's that. It was over $50, a little over $50. And like, we haven't seen that number in a long time when we filled up. So that's kind of a bummer. We did do a little bit of eating with the takeout over the weekend. On Friday night, we decided to do cookout and McDonald's. We did McDonald's for the littlest one. He'd rather have a Happy Meal than anything at cookout, which is sad because cookout is amazing. And then my husband and I needed a little fuel before we went grocery shopping. So we went to Dunkin' and got some drinks there. Our car payment came out for $325.06, and our mortgage came out at $2,080. I am trying really hard not to get nervous about like anything when it comes to, you know, price of everything going up, the price of gas going up. And my neighborhood seems to be the kind of neighborhood that is just lightning is attracted to, I guess. We had a really bad thunderstorm on Saturday night into Sunday morning. And one of the houses here was struck by lightning. And that's not the first time that's happened in this neighborhood. Since I've lived in this neighborhood, we moved in 2021. That's the second time a house has been struck by lightning. And I don't know if it's because I'm an adult and I'm paying attention to these things, or if it's because we have a neighborhood page and we know, you know, everybody talks about things on the neighborhood Facebook page, but like, I don't remember, I don't know. It just seems kind of weird. It just seems weird. So there's a little tiny part of me that is like worried that our homeowner's insurance is going to go up, which means that our mortgage might go up, because then that means the escrow is going to go up. Like, I'm just like worried about it a little bit. So, I'm going to try not to worry, and I'm just going to stay focused on the plan, and, you know, we'll just, the unknown scares me a little bit. But we did have some cash spending yesterday as well. My husband, Jason, took the Rogue to get inspected, and so we paid for that in cash since we had the extra cash. And then I needed milk. We forgot to get milk. I needed it for what I was cooking for dinner last night. So out of the, I think it was $50 that we had left over, he spent $18. So here's the leftover money. We're going to put these $2 in our $1 savings book, which means we now will only need $7 to fill it up instead of $9. Is that right? Am I thinking that right? And then these are actually, I'm going to hold on to these until Friday. In our checking account, we only have $339 left over, and we are still waiting on our internet to come out, which will be a little under $100. We're waiting on Peacock to come out, which will be a little under $10. And we're waiting for Compassion International to come out, which will be a little under $65. So once all of that is said and done, and oh, and then there's also I paid for the Rogues registration. So once all of that is said and done, we're only going to have like $50 in the account, and I still have to fill up the van with gas. So I actually might pay for gas in cash and fill the van up. I don't know what I'm going to do yet, but I'm going to hold on to this. I'm not going to put it anywhere. Normally I would put this in the debt binder, or say I'm going to put it in, for groceries next week. I'm just going to hold on to it, see what happens with our checking account. But while we're at it, let's put these $2, let's write it down that we are putting $2 into the savings notebook, and then we'll throw that in the notebook. All right, so we only need $7 more. That's it, $7 more. Let's hope we get it done this weekend when I do my grocery shopping. Oh my goodness. All right, my friends, I hope you have a lovely Tuesday, and I will talk to you tomorrow and Wednesday. Bye. Hello, fellow budgeters. Happy Wednesday. Since we're getting closer to the end of the pay period, not a lot is coming out. But that's okay. We've still got. Anyway, so this is the registration for the Rogue, our yearly tags. That goes in our cars category, and then our internet bill came out. And I was a little confused by it because that was about $8 less than it usually is, which, hey, fine by me. But if you look at our budget cycle, what we have left is we're waiting for Peacock to come out and our Compassion International to come out, and then we will have everything complete in this pay cycle. So we're getting there. Yeah, so Jason and I, just to give you guys, oh, my chair is squeaking, just to give you a little bit of a heads up, Jason and I are exploring debt consolidation options. I am the type of person that when I think about my debt, I'm like, well, I'm the one that made that stupid decision. I need to pay the consequences for it. However, looking at how much we pay monthly to the debt and how we have very little money in savings and very little money in our budget to go to savings, I am exploring some debt consolidation options, and we think we may have found our solution. I don't like the thought of just moving debt around, but the option that we found, we would be able to pay off, so move the debt, about $60,000 of it, to this one debt consolidation thing that we're thinking of, and it would lower our minimum payments by about $800 a month, which is huge because we really need to get that savings back up to where it needs to be, and unfortunately there's just nowhere in our budget for us to throw the savings in there. And then once we have our savings account where we want it to be, we can start throwing money towards the debt again. So like, I'm a little nervous only because it's a huge loan we would be taking out, but we'd be paying off a bunch of other stuff. Like, I don't know. it's interesting to think about it. But also the thought of having roughly $800 a month back into our budget that we can throw into savings. Not like we wouldn't use it for anything other than throwing it into savings and then moving it back to debt as a debt snowball. That just makes me breathe a little easier, especially because we don't know what's going to happen with the student loans once they are out of forbearance in July. So yeah, if we can get that, secured, then it'll kind of be a game changer. So that's just an option we're exploring. But anyway, yeah, that's where we're at. And I'll keep you updated on that on like my next step progress video to see if things happen, or actually, you know, maybe we'll see some money movement in the checking account. And then when that happens, I'll explain that to you, but, it's going to be if it happens, it's going to be a big change for the whole channel, basically. So anyway, I hope you have a lovely Wednesday, and I will see you on tomorrow. Bye. Hello, fellow budgeters. Happy Friday. I did not film yesterday because nothing happened in our checking account and we did not have any cash spending. So the last two things we were waiting on for this pay period came out. So we have our Peacock subscription that came out, and then our Compassion International payment for the month came out as well. So that wraps up this current pay period. So I'm gonna do all the math to close out the pay period here and see how we landed. And then today is payday, so we're starting a brand new pay period, and I'm gonna be going to the bank a little later. And my husband took $60 out of the haircut fund so he could go get a haircut today. That sounds like a lot for a man, and it probably is, but we love the barber that he goes to, and because we wait so long for him to get his hair cut, he gets it cut really, really short, and then he gets a really nice beard trim, and then we tip this barber very well, because we just love him so much. And it makes my husband feel more confident in himself when he looks good and he has his hair done the way that he likes it. And I don't blame him. I feel that way too when I get my hair cut, which isn't very often because I cut it really short and then I grow it out. So I only get a haircut maybe once a year, once every 2 years or whatever. So, but anyway, there is that. And I was going to say, I'm hoping that this weekend when we do our grocery shopping, that we will get the last $7 that we need for my $1 savings challenge book. So I'm hoping to film a video of me unstuffing that soon. And I thought that would be kind of fun to do, kind of like an ask me anything kind of a thing. While I'm unstuffing it, I could be asking questions that you might have. So if you have any questions about me personally, about my family, about our budgeting process, which, by the way, will be changing again. Not necessarily the budgeting process per se, but the debt payoff process. It's changing again. And hopefully this is the last time it changes until it's all paid off. So, but look forward for that video, So I'm just waiting to make sure everything is completely all set. So if you have any questions for me, please leave them down below in the next couple of videos, and I'll be looking in the comments. And if nobody leaves questions, then that's okay. I will just probably do some story times. All right, my friends, I hope you have a lovely, lovely Mother's Day weekend, and I will see you on Tuesday with a cash stuffing video. Bye.